What's up everybody, it's Raccoons. Today I'll be reviewing Decline's Drops, a 2D action platformer that pleasantly surprised me. Indie games, especially in this genre, tend to get lost in the shuffle, so the more I can do to signal boost the ones that are worth your time, the better. The elevator pitch is like if you took the general art and level design of Yoshi's Island, but gave it Smash Bros. Style movement and combat. For somebody as chronically addicted to shield grabbing as me, this was an immediate sell. But really, we don't have many other games that scratch a similar itch to Brawl's Subspace Emissary mode. Decline's Drops is $18.99 on Steam, and there's a Switch release forthcoming. The story is pretty simple. Globule, a wooden doll with boxing gloves for hands, is minding her own business, tending to her pleasant little garden. Over time, giant smokestacks start to crop up and pollute her neck of the woods. Sometimes reasonable men are driven to do extreme things, so it's Globule's job to beat down every last machine, miscreant, and mutant frog disturbing her peace. There's not a whole lot of dialogue in the game, but just based on the level themes, you can probably infer where the developer stands on capitalism. And yeah, I said that correctly. By looking at the art, you'd think that Decline's Drops would be the effort of a small team, but no. The game was primarily developed and drawn by one dude, Drazglb. And there's way more levels and unique assets than you might initially expect too. Entire themes and mechanics will be explored in one level, then shelved. I think I'm most impressed by the fluidity of animation though. A combat-focused game like this really needs excellent character animation for action to feel fluid and satisfying, and Decline's Drops indeed delivers here. And keep in mind, every animation has to be painstakingly drawn frame by frame, one at a time. I would have never guessed that this game was the developer's first time doing both animation and code. And yet, the game is well polished and the controls are tight. Taking a page from Smash Bros, you got your jab attack, directional tilts, aerial moves, smash attacks, and special moves once you've got enough linseed meter built up. Your power moves have an eternity of hit stun, so you can really get creative with combos once you get a feel for character movement. I'm not sure if this combo meter actually does anything, but damn does it feel satisfying to build it to S rank. These punchy sound effects are definitely helping that feeling. Globule also has a variety of defensive maneuvers. She can dodge roll, shield, and parry for a ton of damage if you time the shield just right. There's also a directional air dodge, and you know what that means. Oh yeah, they added wave cheating. I've seen people complain that Globule is too floaty. Maybe this could be a big issue for a precision-focused platformer, but the contention is that it makes Decline's Drops slow, which is not the case at all. The levels are just as fun to plow through at top speed as they are to comb for secrets. There's even a time attack mode which I did not attempt at all. I'm sure it's a blast, but I'm a busy man. That said, the levels are absolutely a highlight of the game. They all have a nice flow to them, and the developer has clearly taken all the right lessons from the games he's inspired by. As stated earlier, there's a ton of variety both in scenery and level design, even within individual worlds. Take World 1, which starts in a grassy meadow, goes into a slower-paced Yoshi's Island cave, then you're clambering up a giant beanstalk, and it ends with a rainy field stage with mud puddles and giant tortoises. Even in the game's weaker stages, Decline's Drops is never not beautiful. There's plenty of screens you could just sit on and use as a desktop background as you're working on something else. Sometimes you're sneaking around an enemy fortress, or crashing onto the deck of an airship, or diving off of said airship all in the same stage. Stages will pack tons of puzzles and secret areas densely in between the action platforming segments. Classic stuff like, there's gotta be something hidden in this suspiciously empty part of the level, or, oh, that's the fist block, I wonder where I can start running from to launch my big F-off fist attack. Usually you're rewarded a heart piece or a ton of drops for your troubles. I think it's most fun to just go after as many as you can, but if you're gunning for all the hearts in an area, you'll unlock a difficult temple stage a la Donkey Kong Country Returns. Occasionally, to break up the pace, the levels lock you in a room to deal with a group of enemies or a mid-boss. I love how cute these guys are. Since individual foes mostly just do 1 or 2 attacks, encounters are differentiated by the composition and density of enemies. The game is not afraid to throw a shit ton of tough enemies at you later on, so you're encouraged to either isolate them out or attack multiple at the same time. The only ones I don't like are these jumping frogs with the hats. I think I got clipped by their projectile every single time. Some of the levels are a bit iffier than others. Even though the World Wide Web stages have particularly gorgeous visuals and awesome songs to accompany them, they have lots of teleporters, and I often lost track of where they were sending me, or where I even was. I do appreciate how every level gives you the ability to backtrack to previous areas to grab anything you've missed, even for segments like where this big spider is chasing you. Between levels, you can visit Surge to buy different UI skins or vials with the drops you collect in each stage. These let you alter your playstyle, like giving you powerful smash attacks in exchange for no specials, or giving you an extra hit point. Although, I pretty much only used the one that doubled your drop collection rate, but also damage taken. Why? So I could buy the other files that I then didn't use, of course. Decline's Drop's music was handled by Modal Module, whose whole OST is just stellar. The game runs the gamut from super upbeat and arcadey songs in the action-packed segments and boss fights, to more melancholic and pretty for some of the slower stages. I especially love that live instruments are used in most places in the score. Compositions sound way richer than they would be otherwise. Some of my favorites include this jazz lounge arrangement of Petroleum Port. I love the flute lead piano backing combo in the rainy level of Former Fields. Or this techno song that plays when you fight Omniscius, the cybernetic dragon. The boss designs and set pieces are great, as are the fights themselves. Because of your wealth of defensive actions, the game feels comfortable throwing more devious patterns at you than normal. Expect a few restarts on later bosses. Even still, Decline's Drops is on the easier side due to that wealth of options. Death doesn't really have much of a consequence besides just putting you back to the last checkpoint. If you even remember to use your defensive maneuvers at all. I didn't for like half the game. Overall, Decline's Drops is a lovely game with clear passion put into making it. That's the thing I've personally been looking for most in games recently. passion, sincerity, soul spelled with a V, however you want to call it. Declines Drops isn't perfect, of course, but you can excuse a lot of a game's flaws when there's just so many moments where you think, hey, that's cool. I mean, hell, there's a level where you go around powering up a little Game & Watch that you get to play at the end. Just little bits of polish, cool ideas, stuff that adds up to a whole greater than the sum of its parts. Fans of classic 2D platformers and platform fighters will probably like Declines Drops a lot, but the game is approachable enough for anyone to play and enjoy. And the game is actively being updated too, with new playable characters and features promised in the Kickstarter being added regularly. Well, that's all I got for today. Take care and have a good one.